Here we go, another live video, and today it's Tuesday the 3rd of September, and it's getting very exciting because tomorrow is when our brand new holiday catalogue goes live. Yay! So if you're around, I'd love you to pop on and say hello. So please do say hello when you get here, okay, so I know who's watching. I can see there's already a couple of people here, I just don't know who it is. Okay, so I'm actually going to quickly set up so I can see my second screen, so I can see when you guys comment, even when I'm crafting, because that's always good. There it is, there's the post, I found it. Fantastic, I reckon I can see any comments that come through. Don't be shy. All right, hey Lyndall. Oh, South Carolina, that's a long way away. Hey Denise, how you going? So yeah, it's very exciting with the new catalogue going live tomorrow, and I thought I'd I promised I'd come on and show some of my favourite things. My problem is I realise there's so many things that are my favourite in this new catalogue that it's really hard to pick. So I just picked a couple of things that I really like, and I'll just have to keep at it in the coming days and show you a few more as things speak to me, I guess. All right, so let's get this camera turned around and do a little bit of crafting. Who's with me? You ready? Okay, I'm going to switch the camera around, so give me a second. Can you see my husband's tools there? This is our lounge room behind me, so you can see the TV and all his tools piled up there in the corner. We are seriously suffering from a lack of space. My craft room is actually the garage that's remodeled, and it's a really great space for me, but the house is so tiny for the four of us, and we're bursting at the seams. So the plan is to buy a house at some point that we actually own and we can do things to. Hi there, Kate. So I'm hoping that that's going to mean more crafty fun happening in a bigger space, more creative stuff going on. So that's pretty cool. All right, let me put this in the holder. Here we go. Okay. All right, I am going to pop this up here. Give me a second while I do that. Okay, can you guys see the crafty space there okay? I'm sort of trying to put it right in the middle. There we go, I think that's okay. All right, and I'm just going to reach over and make sure I keep an eye on the comments. So we have the brand new holiday catalogue. That's this one, going live tomorrow, and I'm very excited because there's so many things in here I haven't played with yet that I'm really excited about. And I think the big standout things are probably, hey there Chrissy, the big standout things are probably the DSP, beautiful designer series paper in this one, some fantastic new sets, but also some really fun products, like we've got puff paint, which you can do lots of things with, and we have new shimmery crystal effects. So there's so many cool things, so lots of things that have like an arty kind of a bent. So I've got a couple of ideas for things that I want to show you today. And one of them is one of my favourite products in the new catalogue, and that is this gorgeous designer series paper. I don't know if you can see this, but it is so shiny. Can you kind of see how beautiful that is? And let me just pull it out of the pack. So it's copper accents, copper foil, like almost like it's embossed, but copper foil on one side and then plain on the other. So this is Old Olive. Actually, no, I think it's Mossy Meadow. I should double check that. But as I go through, you can see one side's got the beautiful foil design, this side, and the other side does not. But it's just stunning. So stripy on that side, and look at that, that's just gorgeous. So yeah, really beautiful, and I'm very excited about it. Just something I did want to say, something I've noticed is that when you comment, I don't see your comments straight away. There seems to be a delay between when you comment and when I see it. So my apologies if I don't seem to respond to you immediately, but I will try to. Thanks for sharing, Chrissy. That's fantastic. Really appreciate that. This is actually, I think this is my favorite in the whole of this pack. It's got the shiny, the copper bits on this side, but it's almost a bit of a tile, kind of looks to me like a tile design, almost Moroccan, and that I think is absolutely stunning. So this one's really lovely too. It's got like this leaf design on one side and the pretty peacock and copper on the other side. Just beautiful. So yeah, lots and lots of beautiful papers in here. And then this one here with the stars on it is the one I'm going to use right now. So because even though this set's called Brightly Gleaming, I think it really pairs in nicely with those stars, the copper stars. It goes really nicely with the Brightly Gleaming set and the So Many Stars. So this is from Brightly Gleaming, this is So Many Stars, and these are the new Stitched Stars dies. So you've got your shapes with the stitched edges, and it stitches on this side and it stitches on the outside on the negative as well. So let's quickly, easily make this card up. All I've done is I've made cut a piece of cardstock to be 10 centimeters by this one, yeah, 10 centimeters by 20 centimeters, nice and simple. In inches, that would be around about 4 by 8, roughly, just very roughly. Let me grab a bone folder. There's one right here. Okay, and then I've cut this paper slightly smaller. So I usually go about 1/2 centimeter or about 1/4 inch smaller on each thing. So if this one's 10 by 10, then this one is 9.5 by 9.5 centimeters. This one's 9 by 9. And you'll do the same thing if you're going 4 inches, then 3 3/4, 3.5, that kind of thing. So that way each layer fits just inside the other. When I'm working with pattern paper like this, I like to use snail adhesive because the lightweight adhesive works really, really well with the lightweight paper. Whereas if I'm using cardstock, these days I prefer to use Tombow. I think that gives me a better cardstock to cardstock adhesive, but as long as I'm working with pattern paper, I'll use snail because that works really well. So I've already pre-cut just a little bit earlier a navy. So this is navy with copper stars, and this is just a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that I've cut out with the stitch-shaped stars. Let me quickly show them to you. Hang on, I'll just reach them. They're just out of reach, of course. Oh, buried under something. Of course they are. So this is the stitch-shaped stars. They are just stunning. I really love this kind of flourishy one with the stars, and we actually have 2 star stamps that actually fit into those dies, so they actually go beautifully, and then all the different stars nest inside each other. Aren't they lovely? Really, really think they're going to get a good run in this catalogue. Alright, the other thing that matches in with this, these are the new Brightly Gleaming foil accents which match the paper. They're part of that bundle. And these are really nice. Let me just pull them out so you can see. So there's a whole bunch of them in here. And if you didn't want to use the copper side, you could always use the white side, and you could make that any colour you like. I think that would work well. You've got your little ornaments, and there's some little leaf, like little garlands, little stars that fit onto the stitch stars, of course. And there's a few sheets of those. So it does actually say there are 50 in here. So I think that's kind of cool. Now I'm just deciding which way I wanted to go, which they're both the same really. Now here's something I was wondering, if they're adhesive or whether I need to stick them. I think I might need to stick them. I don't think they're adhesive. No, I don't believe so. So what would be the best way to stick these? A little bit of either fine tip glue or Tombow on the outer tips, just the smallest amount. That's why that small nozzle on the end of Tombow is fabulous. I'm just going to add a little bit more on the thicker parts here in the middle. That's probably plenty. And let's pop that onto our stitch star. That's going to make it pretty amazing. It's a really good fit. Look at that. Woohoo! This is actually the first time I've used these copper accents. I really like them. Look at that. Look how nice that is. Alright. I'm actually, you could put something underneath this, like a circle, like a white circle or something like that. That would look quite nice, but I'm actually just going to use it as it is. And I'm going to grab myself some mini dimensionals. So come over here to my box of tricks. dimensionals. I'm going to pop them on the back. Mini dimensionals are great for behind smaller areas. So something like a star like this, you would have to cut your dimensionals down or put them way away from the points, and this way you can actually put them a fair way up the points because they'll fit. So let's just get rid of those little backs. I just throw them wherever. That's what vacuum cleaners are for, right? Alright, so I'm just going to pop this so it's about the same distance from each side, roughly. Push it down. Okay, it's looking nice. And I think maybe a word or something. So I have got a great little set. Where did it go? I keep putting things down because I'm moving things around all the time. And I went and got it before I started the video. And of course now here they are. Gosh, I've got stuff everywhere, guys. Does anyone else craft like me? Now this is a brand new set. I've only used a couple of them and I haven't even decided which one I'm going to use, which would be nice. I want something long and thin. Maybe just a season's greetings. That's always nice and simple. There's a Christmas cheer that's nice as well. What do you guys think? Hey Sharon, how you going? Sorry, it's been a little while since I looked up. And hello again everybody. Lisa, and thanks. I said hello Chrissy before. Thank you everyone. So I'm just going to expand that out so I can see all the comments. I could only see a few of them. Let me come back to it. Alright, fabulous. Alright, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just go with season's greetings. Will I go here? Season's greetings. Right, and I'm actually, like, this set's so new I haven't even fully put it together yet. So let me show you how I like to put these together. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to do that after all. Oh, you're saying. Here's the sheet where they belong. So I don't know if you guys already know this. You probably do because you're all very clever. But just in case you don't, on one side of the stamps, on the cling stamps, there's like a little cut halfway along the stamp that allows you to peel the back off really easily. Now I've said that, I've got new fingernails, or relatively new fingernails, and it's a little bit hard to get under things because they're a bit thicker. I don't know if anybody else finds that. These ones are a new product I haven't used before called SNS, and they're a little bit thicker than the acrylic, the gel ones that I was using before. So I'm still getting used to them. Right, now it leaves like a, let's see if you can see, you can sort of see the shape, where the shape goes around the word. And what you want to do is get your head straight over the top. So sorry if you can see the back of my head. And I'm going to completely line up that shape so it exactly fits in. And that way, oh, haha, guess what? I forgot to pull the piece off. Let's do that again. See, there we go. Good old live video. If you're going to make a mistake, that's when it's going to happen. But that's okay. It's not really a mistake. It's just a, whoops. All right, so I've now got my season's greetings. And I'm just going to pop that here on my block. I have got some white cardstock I'll bring in. You can see I've cut a white square out of this earlier. Oh, sorry, a star. That's not a square. Definitely a star. And I'm just going to pop my season's greetings onto my bit of white here. And I'm using this, oh, is it classic label or modern label? I think it's classic label punch. I need to check. Somebody might know. I don't always know the names of everything. I just, I know how to use them. I think that's more important, don't you? Alright. And then probably it would be nice if I went around that with a little bit of the copper ink. We have the new Delicata ink, and you can see it's just coming off gently on my edge here. This is the one I use for the black and copper magnolias that I did this morning, so it's still sitting here, or that I did yesterday actually, not this morning. I made the video, finished making the video this morning. Okay, alright, and I'm just going to pop that straight across the middle of my star, just down a little bit. or would it be better here? What do you guys think? The bottom or in the middle? I think just below the middle. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you need to kind of play around with things to see where you like them best. I definitely don't like it right in the middle. So I'm thinking maybe there, and will I snail it or will I dimension it? I think I'm going to snail it in this case because I've already got dimensionals under there, so I don't need to do double dimension. And I mean, this is a really quick and simple card that you could create in next to no time. Didn't take us very long, as you can see. But those copper accents that you add over the top, don't they look amazing? Look at that, all bright and shiny. And I'm just going to pop that with my Tombow on the back of that. I could also use a little bit of twine on this card. Try a little bow or a knot and add that. That might be nice as well. I might do that before I post this on my page. But either way, it's a cute little card and very simple. You can make a whole bunch of those in next to no time. And I think the stars from So Many Stars go really well with that brightly gleaming paper. That's really pretty. What do you think? Do you like that? There we go. Nobody's commented for a little while, but I'll just trust that that's okay and we'll move along. I do also have another card that I haven't actually made yet, but I have an idea of what I want to do. And I'm actually using one of my other favourite things, which is, this is the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper. And it matches the Feels Like Frost framelets. Here's the Feels Like Frost framelets, which are this, it's got, or dies I think we're calling them now. So it's got this lovely like foliage around the frame, and then there's also one that just cuts the frame inside, and that's got a stitched edge as well. And there's a cool couple of little leaves here, and a couple of little snowflakes, and a little, I don't know, what shall we call this? Someone said it's a weed. Oh, I'm glad you like the card. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. So I'm not even sure what we call this. If anybody knows what this would be. So it's the same as these that's in the matching stamp set. These little guys. What could we call those? See, there's a little framelit there to go with it. It doesn't cut this out. It just matches. And then we've got this lovely little sprig here, which has got berries or something like that on it, and a couple of great little sayings, wishing you a season full of family, friends and happiness, which is beautiful, and some nice little background snowflakey kind of things, and a couple of big sayings, sending you a little Yuletide cheer and you warm my heart. And I mean, something like you warm my heart, you could use that all year round. It doesn't have to be Christmas, so I think it's got lots of potential. And I thought it would be definitely a worthwhile set for me to have. I've already made a few nice cards with it, which I might show you in a moment if we have time. What do you think? So those match these. That's a bundle. But the best part about it, in my opinion, is the paper. The paper is just to die for. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm actually using the back of this sheet, which is this here. You can see all these lovely kind of snowflakey kind of things. Silver embossed on white. And then, of course, there's a number of each of those sheets, and they're just stunning. They're like photograph quality on one side, and on the back, if you've got your silver and white. I mean, look at these. They're gorgeous. I used it the other day. I made a shaker card for anyone who saw that with one of these papers. I mean, these pinks are gorgeous. I just think they're lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Little snowy scenes. Some of them are snow and some of them are just like outdoors kind of scenes. So it doesn't have to be like that one. Could be all year round, that purple. I think that's such a beautiful colour. So they don't have to be Christmas. They don't even have to be winter. It's actually very, like I could use that all year round. It doesn't have to be winter. That one looks more frosty to me. And some of them like the pink trees, that's really pretty, but that definitely looks wintry. And I've had a few people say, oh, but in Australia, you know, we don't do cold winter. No, we don't. That's true. But I do love them anyway. They're so pretty. And I'm not going to let somebody tell me whether I should or shouldn't. If I like it, I'm going to use it. So I've got this piece, which is one of the backs. So as I was going through there showing you all of these are the backs. So you've got stripes, you've got leaves, you've got snowflakes. They're just gorgeous. So beautiful. So even if you didn't like this side, these are stunning. These are just beautiful. So I am going to use that side this time. And I've decided that I'm going to actually use it with a brayer. I love brayering. I know some people are scared of brayers, and don't be scared. They are just so fantastic. They really are. And the new brayers, as opposed to the old rubber brayers, the new ones are actually really easy to use. If you haven't tried it, give it a go. Don't be scared. There's a couple of tips. I'm going to use this today with Highland Heather, which is a light, this is from our Subtles family of colours. It's a light mauvey colour. And this is Gorgeous Grape. So this colour, let me show you the difference in the two colours. So this is Highland Heather and this is Gorgeous Grape. As you can see, they're very, very different. Okay, so I've got the light one going on with my brayer. I do also have Gorgeous Grape here, and if I decide it needs to be darkened up, I can always go darker. So start light, because you can always go darker. You can't always go the other way around. So I'm going to ink this up by putting it into my Highland Heather ink. I'm sort of going firm, but not so firm that you end up digging at the stamp pad with the edges of your brayer, which I've seen people do. They've actually like dug a hole in their ink pad by pushing too hard. You see, you want to go firm, but not so firm that you cause damage. And we're just going around and around, so not backwards and forwards, but around and around to get ink all the way around. And then what I like to do is I like to go with the short end. When you're learning, definitely the short end is much, much easier to do and less open to mistakes. And what you want to do is start just off the paper and then start to roll on. Now the reason that this works so well on this kind of paper is because the paper is essentially embossed, and the embossing will actually resist the ink. So you get a beautiful result with your silver embossed snowflakes in this case, but the background is going to be whatever colour we choose, and we're going with the Highland Heather, of course. So I'm starting from one end each time. I'm starting and adding more and more ink. I know, isn't the paper divine, Sharon? I just love it, and thank you for saying that about the shaker card. Yeah, the shaker card has been so popular. Really, really love it. So each time I'm starting at the same end, because when I do that, it means that we end up with kind of an ombre effect, so from dark to light. And I'm just sort of going over and over until I get the build-up of colour that I want. I think everyone should brayer because it makes your cards stunning. Such stunning backgrounds. And you really can't go wrong. Just keep going. If you got a line or a look that you don't want, like I've got a mark here, I'm not worried about that though, because I'm going to cover that up. So you can see just by starting at the top end all the time, and I'm trying to apply a little bit more pressure here at the end as well. Right, so let's see how that looks. Looks pretty nice. If I wanted it even darker, I could go in with the Gorgeous Grape. I'm deciding whether I want to or whether I want to keep it light. This is with the Gorgeous Grape. That might be enough. One more time. And just because I'm going to add a tiny bit of the grape. You like using brayers, Wendy? I know. It's one of those things, once you start and you get a bit of experience with it, it's hard to stop. Okay, I'm only doing the very top with the grape. Okay, so does that make sense what I've done? I've gone over the whole thing. Now this is the bit where I get a bit of paper towel or a soft tissue or even a soft cloth and rub the whole thing off to make sure there's no ink sitting on top of the embossed snowflakes. But I didn't think to do that, so I've got a sponge here and I'm just going to do that to make sure there's no ink on there. There's not so much ink on there that it's going to cause my sponge any damage anyway. Nope, you can't even see it. Alright. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks really, really pretty. And it will end up on here. How nice is that, guys? Look at that. Right, so I've got a couple of pieces here. Let me see. I have got a little bit of, this is the frame that I showed you before from that framelit set, and I've already cut that up. I've cut it this frame here, and see it's got that stitched edge. You sort of lose the stitch edge a little bit on the glimmer paper, but not so much that you can't see it at all. If you look carefully, you can see it. And then I've also got here, I'm going to go in with my, deciding which one. I really like this Wishing You a Season Full of Family, Friends and Happiness. I really like that stamp, so I'm thinking that might be the one that I want to use. And so it stands out. I'm going to actually do it here on my Highland Heather piece, but I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grape because that's going to stand out more than the Highland Heather will. So I'm just going to bring that up here. Yep, such a nice sentiment. And I'm using the Timeless label punch, and I'm going to cut that out. Always use a punch upside down like this so you can see where you're going, and line it up where you want to line it up. Now I didn't think to bring an extra sponge around, so I'm just going to use the edge of my brayer to go around. You know, actually that does quite a good job, just around the edge. And I'm just thinking that might be nice over here like this. Yep. I want it to sort of be half on, half off. Alright, so I'm going to do a couple of dimensionals. Let me grab them. Right here under a pile of stuff. Isn't that always the way things all get put? Oh, I can't help it. I put everything on top of everything. Anybody else messy like me when they're crafting? I know, I'm so busy thinking about the next thing is I have to do, I just dump stuff anywhere. So I better put this down first, and because it's thicker, I'm going to use my Tombow. I'm going to go this way. And I'm just lining it up so it's parallel with the edge. That way you know it's straight. And then I've already whipped the backs off these, so that's ready to go on. Making that parallel with the bottom. Whoops. Dimensionals and glue dots are about the only thing that stick well to glimmer paper. So just keep that in mind when you're adhering, that if you're doing something onto glimmer paper, you want to have glue dots or dimensionals to stick. Right, now I did already cut, and of course it's under everything again. Earlier when I was preparing for this little session, I cut myself a couple of silver, just from plain silver foil, a couple of the leaves from that same framelit set. Here they are. I knew they weren't far away. Right, so I just thought these would look really pretty. So maybe, and they're really nice, these little framelits. Remember I told you I was going to cover up that mark? Right, just not sure exactly where I want to put them. That's going to be too long, but I'd like them to go right there because I want to cover up this little mark from before. So I'm going to use my scissors, and I can see there's a little bit there to push out. And let's do a little bit of leaf surgery. Okay, so that one's going to end up just here like that to cover up that little bit of something. And because it's just going under there, I'm just going to use a little bit of snail over the end of it. Snail and foil do not always stick well, so you have to press a little harder when you're going on the back of foil. Just like that. And this one, aren't they nice die cuts? I agree. Oops, this one's got a couple of bits that need to be pushed out as well. You could use a take your pick tool or a paper piercing tool, or the point of your scissors for that. So these are, like I was saying before, a couple of my favourite things, but I have so many, it's really hard to pick. Now, I did say before it doesn't stick well to glimmer, but for something so light, it will be okay. It's going to do the trick. And I've still got this bit here. I'm thinking that might go in here maybe. And because we're kind of using a different part of it, it looks okay no matter what we do. It's not going to look like we've duplicated it. Let me poke those in behind there. Give it a good old firm push. Now I'm going to put this whole thing, and I could go snail or combo, but because it's lightweight paper, snail is all I really need. And I'm just going to pop that on there. Isn't this beautiful paper? Oh my gosh. So this is part of my paper share. For anyone who's interested in getting all the different papers, there are 6 different paper packs that are about Christmas, and I've got those in my Christmas paper share. All the details are on my blog if you're interested, and today is the last day to sign up. So for everyone who's already signed up, thank you so much. I hope that you're going to enjoy those things. And then everyone else, if you haven't yet and you're thinking you might like to do it, yep, today's the last day. So I already have 1 or 2 shares that I can get ready to go almost immediately. Otherwise the rest will be ordered tomorrow. But if you are interested in being part of that, please email me. All the details, like I said, are on the blog. Also, there is a ribbon share for anyone who loves their ribbons, and I think there's, I've got to remember, I think there's 9, I hope that's right, ribbons, different types of ribbons in the catalogue, and I've done quarter shares of each one. So that's $35. The paper shares are $40. If you're doing both, it's $70, so it saves you a little bit if you're doing it that way. And that includes shipping and postage and handling. So there you go. The other thing is we have the live catalogue tomorrow. Very exciting. So tomorrow's the day that you'll be able to get all the bits and pieces that you want out of the holiday catalogue. If you don't have one and you would like one to be mailed to you, they're free here in Australia if you'd like one, and I'll send it out to you. Just need to let me know that you want one. Alright, so they're the 2 cards for today. I'll pop that on a white base and call it done, and I hope you like those. I think they're both really, really effective and very simple, and yet they turned out lovely. I'm really happy. So thank you, Wendy. I'm glad you liked them. And yes, the die cuts are beautiful. I agree. So any other questions, please contact me. I love working with you guys. I love doing this, and I just love making stuff to show you. So don't worry, there's lots more where this came from, and I'll be back with more soon. See you soon. Happy new catalogue. Bye.